I'm Evan Ruderman, and I am Lynn. What was like interning for Fiesta Bowl in 1986, considering the fact that the last 3 years you held the title of Director of Marketing?
I thought it was great. Obviously started off there, and Sunkist was our title sponsor at the time, so I literally began by carrying oranges around and handing them off when teams got off the plane. But it was a great experience. I mean, that game was the Penn State-Miami, the infamous, camouflage and fatigues incident that Miami Hurricanes had at that game. So it was very interesting and dynamic to be a part of that, because that was really the first national championship game that the Fiesta Bowl had been involved in. At that point in time, the reason it all came together was because of the independence. Those two they weren't in conferences. Penn State was an independent, Miami was an independent. Yeah. So because of the conference ties, or the lack thereof in our case, the Fiesta Bowl could come together. And that was one that we had to raise more money, kind of a last minute by having, two black tie events and different things that were not even on the schedule a month before the season was to be completed. They had to find additional ways to raise funds to go ahead and pay the teams for that game.
And what does it mean to have Valero as, the bowl name? I mean, the sponsor. How do you feel about that?
That's great. We've been fortunate. They've been a sponsor of ours for 15 years. Prior to becoming title sponsor last year, really had not been in the title sponsor business up until a few years ago when they did the Valero Texas Open. And then about 2 years ago when they acquired Diamond Shamrock and some of their affiliates on the retail side, that really opened the door for them to start looking about the college football business that we're in, because before, as a pipeline and oil and gas producer, not the typical consumer product, they didn't have the direct relationship. Now when they're in the direct relationship business on the retail side, now open the door and say, hey, you know what, we're rebranding these stores, the exposure to the bowl game and the target market of a college football fan looks to be right in our wheelhouse as far as that's concerned. So local-based company, bowl game looking for title sponsor in San Antonio, match made in heaven from our perspective.
Yeah,
so that's great.
It works out. What are some main challenges for marketing you guys have been dealing with lately?
Well, I think you got to look at it. Currently it's just economic conditions. Everybody has to take into consideration. So we always weigh out. We raise ticket prices, we raise sponsorship fees, because obviously all the costs are escalating. But at the same time, realizing we're a pretty discretionary business at the end of the day. You don't have to have a bowl ticket. We want you to be a bowl ticket. You want to come to San Antonio. You want to be a part of our activities. So we try to keep things as minimal in our increases as we can. Just try to soften the blow from the economy that's out there. We certainly see it coming. We saw a little bit at the end of last year. So really try to take a look at that on the front side. Even though we're coming off of 3 of our last 4 games are sellout, and the easy thing is, let's just raise ticket prices, you also have to be realistic about what's going on in the marketplace today.
Of course, yeah. Well, hey, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview.
No, my pleasure.